So, what's working right now on YouTube to get views and subscribers? In this training, we're going to be breaking down some simple strategies that can help you grow your channel, break through a plateau. Maybe you're feeling stuck, or maybe you're just frustrated because you're not sure what's wrong when it comes to your content, your strategy. And I want to encourage you, if you're watching this video, check out the time codes and chapters because we're going to be talking about different niches, different topics, and maybe your topic will get covered, as well as some questions and maybe some specific pain points you're experiencing when it comes to YouTube. And so if you're fired up, smash like. And I want to welcome Dan from vidIQ, who's going to be co-hosting today. Dan, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm super grateful to have you on. And we're going to dive first into a channel from our VRA community, and it is the true crime niche, a very popular niche on YouTube. And this is the description here. It's called Killer Cafe. Are you fascinated by true crime, things spooky? We can dive over here to shorts. Looks like we've got some shorts going on, not many, and we've had as many as 530 views on the shorts. And then on our full length videos, it looks like there's a podcast here. Kind of cool that there is a new podcast feature on YouTube, and that would be a new tab, and it connects over to YouTube Music. This is saying welcome to the this is like the trailer, it looks like, and maybe it hasn't quite started, so that looks like that's the vision there. Smart, because true crime podcasts are very popular. And we've only been doing it for 2 months, so we're really just getting started. And you can obviously see the main videos here with some thumbnails going on, some of the view counts as high as 190 views. So off to a really great start is my first impression. But Dan, I would love to hear your insights and feedback on some improvements and tips that we could all learn from.
Yeah, this is a really good start for just a couple months on YouTube. So welcome to YouTube, honestly. And this is awesome to see. So I think we can talk about thumbnails a little bit. I was focused on the titles for sure. Because when you look at these, there's one thing that's standing out to me with these titles, and that's that these are great titles for books, right? Like The Ghosts That Haunt Us and the Media That Changed It. I think for YouTube videos, like if I'm somebody who's never seen your channel before, I'm scrolling through YouTube and this video pops up as a recommended video, The Ghosts That Haunt Us and the Media That Changed It. There's a lot of vagueness in that title for me as just a general YouTube viewer. And I'm sure the content is really, really solid, but it's titled too much like a book, is the best way I can put it.
Culture and beliefs.
It's a great tip. And so some improvement on the titles. Let's actually dig into this very video and see what we can learn from the hook here.
A staple in human culture. Ghosts have been a staple in human culture and beliefs for many centuries, from ancient Greeks and Romans to modern day movies and TV shows. The idea of ghosts and spirits.
Nice little jump cut there. So it looks like she's crafting her intro. And I'm not sure if she's considering this a podcast yet. It is the Killer Cafe podcast, so there are some episodes coming out. So I think that's also, as we are here on YouTube, kind of fascinating to consider that there's a whole nother angle of how you could be getting views. That's kind of interesting. That I don't know what I just did there, but I clicked podcast and it took me away from our actual podcast, even though this is all, there's a feature that we could all learn from. If you click on the Killer Cafe podcast, okay, that I don't know what happened with YouTube there. That'd be the better. So it brings you to a playlist. That playlist is a list of what's in the podcast. Looks like a short made it in here, which I would argue is maybe a mistake, just because what would the consumption of that be? But maybe it's not a big deal, because even if someone's listening on audio, could they get value out of that 14 seconds? That's interesting. Okay, so anyways, any thoughts on the hook here? And it looks like, kind of telling the story from a solo round and narrating. It's definitely scripted, and I like the fact that she went in planned, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the hook, there's the makings of a really good hook there. It's something that would take a little more practice, but I think the way they did it is they didn't introduce, hey, welcome back to the channel, I'm so and so, and this is what we're doing. Like, they just got straight into it, which I love to see. And I think it's just going to be like a matter of continuing to make videos. But when I heard that hook, immediately title ideas started popping into my head. And one of those ideas, just to give you a very basic understanding of what I was saying earlier about the title of your video, the title for this video could be something along the lines of why you should believe in ghosts, or, here's why people believe in ghosts, or things like that, because you're talking about ghosts and like how long people have believed in them, why they do. So there's probably something in there, depending on where you go with your video. We're not obviously watching the whole thing, that you could craft a really, really good clickable title from. But when I was talking earlier about the title being too vague, that's kind of what I was getting at, is what is this really about? If it's about ghosts and the history of ghosts and spirits and things like that, then there's a really strong play there for a title that's like, why people believe in ghosts in 2023 or something along those lines. So that'd be my advice there. And I think from knowing that title ahead of time, you can then rethink the hook of a video, and you can go, okay, if that's what people are going to see the moment they see my video, what's the first thing they should hear?
Man, really good tips. And, we're talking really kind of about, we could talk about the perfect video recipe. Thinking about the good thumbnail, and improvements could definitely be made on the thumbnails here. Thinking about a better title. I think I agree with you. A lot of work could be done on the titles, and then kind of the topic in general, because that right there is the topic, but it's kind of like, how are you positioning the topic? And today's stream is brought to you by vidIQ, and we'll talk a little bit more about this later. But if you haven't got the 30-day trial of the Boost plan, it's only $1, and some of the tools that I'm going to dive into right now are incredibly helpful. And one of those tools is there's a link to that in the description. And one of those tools is the AI title recommendations. So as I typed in real stories of ghosts, kind of the angle you're talking about, Dan, like terrifying real life ghost stories you won't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Compare terrifying real life ghost stories you won't believe to the channel that we're on of Killer Cafe, to the ghosts that haunt us and the media that changed it. And so, yeah, that's one of the powerful tools. Or, unbelievable true tales of real ghosts. And I think a mistake that sometimes people can make is that they think their title has to be too practical, or too, this is going to sound funny, but even like accurate. It has to be honest, but the point of the title is just to get someone interested in the episode. Then it's realizing it's a progression. Thus, what you say in the hook might be like, are ghosts real? Well, the tale we're covering today is, and then you kind of unbreak it. And then you're like, the book name, if it is some kind of a book or whatever, is, if you were to say, and you need that quote unquote fact of like the ghosts that haunt us and the media that changed it, like that's the story, or that's the old newspaper you looked up. Well, you can say that later on. So then that's still, you kind of lead to it. But starting with this viewer psychology, that's going to get the click in the first place. Any final thoughts for how she might grow her channel here?
I think taking that advice to heart and applying it to the whole process of creating a video. You could go back and change titles and thumbnails, but I would encourage you to take what we're saying today. If you agree with this advice, take it to heart and work towards it on your next video, because what is really, really powerful is knowing the title and the thumbnail, and then planning your hook around that, because it's really the trifecta.
It's really good. And, her most viewed video is a lot clearer. It's about a very specific story, Madeleine McCann. I would, final tip, eliminate the hashtag. I think it's a hashtag could actually be added in the description, which would mean that it ends up becoming clickable. Problem is, even the clickable hashtag right here, if I click on that, chances are it's going to take me away from your channel. It's taking me to news stations. It's taking me to other things. So what value did that hashtag add, other than perhaps associating you with this conversation? But it's not going to really necessarily lead to discovery. And because that's a blue clickable link, it actually could lead to distraction from your content. And so if that was just spaced out, but still the topic here and even the positioning is pretty powerful, and it also, success leaves clues, it's your most viewed video. But I'd even go a step further to say, what was like the essence of the case? Is it some type of what crime? I'm avoiding saying certain words just because on
Yeah.
YouTube, they might think the video is about some demonetized, type of, but it probably doesn't matter. And I don't think we'd get flagged in an education video like this. But you get what I'm saying, like MURDER or something, some kind of content like that. Because then, or was it a kidnapping, or was it something else? Like I go through a list of sketchy things that are like, well, what is it, Dan and like, are they teaching people how to kidnap others? Okay. So, anyways, but really great start. And 2 months in, it's good to see the hustle. It's good to see the hard work. And so, great job there. By the way, if you're getting value, smash like. And if you've got a question, put 4 question marks before and after. We're also going to be taking your questions if you are here live. And also, I am not trying to be cavalier with this subject matter as well. I'm not actually sure the story there. So, love the empathy here in our community. And I don't know what the mysterious case is, but it sounds like it was a very awful incident. And so, true crime. With that, let's jump into the next channel here. We're going to check out Mavea, and her channel is a weekly dose of motivation and a friendly reminder to slow down so you can live intentionally. Powerful premise and topic in today's world. YouTuber, lifestyle blogger. Is that true? It is. Okay. As we read the word blogger, she in fact has a blog associated with this, which is great, very powerful. A long lost art, maybe not long and lost, but for a lot of YouTube creators, they underestimate the power of writing a blog, even perhaps occasionally writing Medium posts, which is kind of a social media blog, and you can have search and discovery for your brand and your content. Man, these days you can take videos and turn them into blog posts relatively easy with AI. And let's check out some shorts here. We've posted some shorts, as many as 1,700 views. And our main videos and the core of our content, unbelievable tribute to women everywhere. You've got to see this 7-minute mirror meditation for inner peace. And if we go over to popular, our best video is Slim Down Without Starving. I can show you a non-diet approach, secret to weight loss. Kind of a gnarly title. Good opening 4 words, because Slim Down Without Starving kind of rhymes. But then it's like, I can show you the non-diet approach, quote unquote, secret with the spaces to weight loss. A little long, bizarre quotations, unnecessary, could be kind of cleaned up, besides perhaps optimized. It's a little, with the title case, kind of title case, C technically should be title case, but, and I don't know if that would distract as many people, but it's all that to say, it is also the most highest performing video, which shows that, small tweaks could lead to giant peaks, because even your content with the most momentum, I think there could be some opportunities there. So Dan, what are your thoughts?
When I compare that video to the ones we saw on the homepage for the latest videos, that video to me has like a very direct purpose, right? It's solving a problem. But some of the other videos on the channel feel like, if I watch them, they could solve a problem. But again, we kind of go back to what I was saying earlier. It's a little vague. Like, there's a meditation for inner peace, but there's so many like meditation videos out there. Could we target a more specific audience with that? Like, meditation for people who have no idea how to meditate, 7 tips for better meditation practices. Like, are there ways that you can like frame this content to be, again, more specific? Because that video we saw a little while ago, the top videos, way more specific.
Yeah, it's very good. And calling out a specific audience is one of the power tips of the day for sure, especially in a noisy world where there could be, even simply saying for women, or perhaps saying for students, because now their mindset, they're about to go to school, they want to get into the right. And it just is so much more powerful. You want to be a meaningful, specific, not a wandering generality. And these are some, we're using the vidIQ AI title recommendations tool once again. It says, get ready to transform your life with these meditation tips for beginners. Take a journey into mindful meditation, find out how. Learn how to harness calm and happiness in 5 easy steps. There's kind of a tip too. And that's what's nice about a tool like this, is that you really want to be using these tools during the ideation process, Dan and I think would both recommend that it's a good idea to have at least a strong idea of what your title is going to be, or perhaps what your final title is going to be before you even press record, because then you really know the angle, and you then perhaps know, well, you only have 3 easy steps. Great. So you kind of reverse engineer that back. And then it's a little bit more concrete, but I love what Dan's saying in terms of, the most popular video is very specific pain point. And our VRA community knows we teach ASQ, answer specific questions, not just answer questions, answer specific questions. And so another thing we could do here is we could take motivation. Okay, so and I think the power here is we are helping modern women find happiness and success. And that right there could maybe be more emphasized. I think on the one hand, you might kind of assume, because you're like, well, they might see the thumbnail, they'll see me, and you'll sort of attract people that resonate with the look of your thumbnail, you in the thumbnail, whether they're going to click or not. However, it's really helpful to also call out the audience in the specific situation. And it sounds like you're already doing that in your about page. So how could you do that in your videos? I'm going to use the vidIQ AI coach and say, what are some video ideas for a channel about helping modern women find happiness and success? Kind of a general premise somewhat, but so many specific opportunities within there. And so it's going to think about that question right now. And I'm going to pass it back to you, Dan, for any tips right now, any strategies or video ideas you'd recommend here. In fact, before I do that, let's get an idea of the content here. Okay. I'm going to jump in just briefly and say, okay, it's very hard to read this text, and it's outside of title safe. With YouTube, I mean, the way we're looking at it, to all women, I have to stretch for it. Mothers, grandmothers, aunties. And then when text is over other text, sisters, other text, and B-roll, the text is messing me up. I'm going to let Dan give some feedback.
So if
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I like this in terms of how artistic it is. I would agree on the text for sure, but like the shots you're using in the music, the title is Unbelievable Tribute, so I suppose this is like, as a tribute video, this kind of makes sense, I guess. But I guess that comes back to being really, really clear in the title and the thumbnail, right? Like, I wasn't sure what we were going to get, and the music and the text and things like that, it's kind of like, okay, this looks nice, but who is it for necessarily is kind of what I ask myself. I know it's specifically a tribute to women, but when you just think about like the YouTube homepage on its own, like you look at videos and they're all trying to convince you to like click on them. So someone like takes a chance on that video and they click on it. Is it delivering on the click? And it's hard to say. There's like no real host in the video. There's no one kind of pulling me in. It's kind of like almost like a movie trailer in a sense, but I didn't really get that from the title and the thumbnail.
Yes, very good point. That video, nice tribute, not the strongest topic, not the strongest content. Let's give one shot here to A Woman's Guide to Putting Herself First and kind of see what we're doing here.
Hi, my name is Maeva and I'm selfish. Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about being...
I kind of like the hook because it's it's kind of controversial. Mm-hmm. It's true for everybody, but it's something we probably would not say, and it's cool that you said it. But I think it needed to breathe. You rushed past it.
My name is Maeva and I'm selfish.
Hi, my name is Maeva and I'm selfish. And then, I mean, just subtle, because it went so fast, it took me a while to process.
Hi ladies, welcome back.
And then it's of course like, oh, where's she going with this? That's bold.
channel. Let's talk about being selfish. I don't understand why the word selfish has had a bad reputation, when in fact it is one of, to my opinion, one of the healthiest choice you can ever.
Thoughts on this hook, Dan?
I love the hook. I think that's really awesome, and I loved where it was going too. I'm gonna like just my tip for that video specifically is there's so many other contexts where you can tell someone where they should be selfish in life. You could have people being selfish in terms of work, people being selfish in terms of like taking time for themselves, even though they're busy and they have a family. Like there's so many different angles, and I feel like again, if this creator were to get specific about at least in each video, if not throughout the entire channel, who they want to speak to, like who directly they want to reach every single time, like that channel could take off. Like I really love the way they talk and present a topic. Like they pulled me right in, and I wanted to see where that was going. But just from like a YouTube growth perspective, it's going to help you so much to know like who are you trying to encourage to be selfish, excuse me. Like is it just women all like in general? And the answer you want to say is probably yes. But I think if you were to branch out to that slowly over time and like just hone that in even more, like really try and niche down more, I think that'll help a ton.
So one of the things we're going to look at here is one of the powerful tools that is in vidIQ Boost. There is some free features here, but to really unlock it, it's the AI coach. And if we dive into this, what I did earlier was I prompted the AI coach and I said, what are some video ideas for a channel about helping modern women find happiness and success? So here's some video ideas and the way that they're framing them up, but it goes a lot deeper than video ideas for this channel. It gives you a title, a kind of a description so you know the angle, a thumbnail idea, an idea for the length of the video and your target audience for even the age group. And I want to even think about before we dive into this, like these are some of the nuances that can take your YouTube channel to another level. Meaning, I was just thinking about I just saw somebody was celebrating their birthday or they were turning 28 in the creator economy. And I was like, wow, I turned 40 this year. I was like, that's 12 years younger than me. I was like, that's an entirely different set of songs. That's an entire at high school. It's an entirely different set of memories. There's some overlaps. Maybe they were into vintage, which would have been my like non-vintage in terms of songs they grew up with or whatever. And so I think about a really good book, Pat Flynn's Superfans, and that some of the things perhaps if maybe you grew up listening to Backstreet Boys and you loved NSYNC. For me, it was like I literally performed New Kids on the Block in a talent show. Like that's old. But all that to say is if you kind of know who you're talking to, that's the point. Knowing who you're talking to, perhaps what are some jokes or cultural events or illustrations or metaphors related to the audience. But here's the idea: is 10 happy habits for a happier and more successful life. Share some practical daily habits that can help modern women achieve happiness and success in their professional lives. And then the thumbnail, a smiling women with a checklist or a planner. Okay, cool. You start thinking through that, shoot for 10 minutes. And let's just go through the other titles here. How to overcome imposter syndrome and boost your confidence. Finding work-life balance. Tips for the busy modern woman. Oof, good title. And then I love, because it could be sometimes concrete, it could be 5 tips for the busy modern woman. And that may or may not actually help it perform. It's not even that the number would help it perform more, but certain learning styles know that it sets expectations going into it, and it could create hunger to learn all 5 tips. The power of networking, how to build meaningful connections, unlock your full potential, tips for personal and professional growth. And we're not just looking at ideas here, but even just kind of the angle. And so this is why we love tools like this. You got to understand that the thinking and the psychology and the mindset. And that's why being on kind of a group coaching training like this, that could be helpful. But then tapping into a tool like vidIQ and especially the brand new AI coach can be incredibly helpful. We're going to take a couple questions. And if you are getting value so far, hit like. And the way questions stand out is by either saying question. I like how you did that, Ken. Or putting 4 question marks before and after. We're doing a travel channel niche on YouTube, but our roadblock is we don't really travel as much as probably 2 to 3 times a year. Should we move to a different niche for equal opportunities for the word niche and niche? But it's still related to travel. Dan, what's your thoughts?
Well, I would say when you do travel, you should collect as much as possible, like while you're out. Like what I mean by collect is like get footage, get everything you can, and really between trips, I'd be planning out content before the next one. This is if you continue going down this road of travel plan. If you continue going down this road of travel channel. If you want content in between, one thing that I think would be really helpful for people who watch channels like that, assume you have an audience of people who are interested in traveling themselves. What have you learned as somebody who travels a lot? And can you share those tips with people? Can you share products with people? Can you review different types of products just for pure search-based videos that can help people? Like maybe there's charging organizers for like different phones that have different ports. Like maybe you have like luggage hacks. Maybe there's just all kinds of different things that you've picked up and that you kind of take for granted that you're really good at, that other people would appreciate learning from. So there's a lot of different opportunities there if you want to stay within that kind of niche. Without looking at the channel, it's hard to say like, specific ideas for you, but that's what I'd be thinking is like, where can you take that in between trips that you're going on?
Solid advice. Our next channel, we're going to start right off with the video that's set as their intro video or their homepage video or their not subscribed yet video. And let's check it out.
Hello there. You ever wanted your space to feel like a warm hug full of nostalgia? Like your grandma's living room, but make it aesthetic? Then you're in the right place. This is the wood accent wall of your dreams. Why am I so dressed up in my desk? What can I say?
So, man, this is a really great hook. And your aesthetic, your vibe, your humor, your personality, even the way you crafted your intro is all so strong. But the audio quality and the level of volume on the audio, I just want to confirm.
Also measure.
Dan, are you hearing the same thing?
Hello there.
It's faint. It's like, it's kind of too faint. And this makes me think it's a good principle for us to learn. It makes me think, for example, like for comedy to work, you've got to hear it. Like the punchline needs to be punchy. And those details matter. What's also interesting is as we get into it.
8 feet. If your ceilings are higher than 8 feet, you'll also measure for the bottom panels. My wall was 11 by 12
It sounds
feet,
like you're doing a voiceover with some type of a better microphone.
I started out with the handsaw, but we quickly
and
saw
this is all
that the score
amazing.
and snap method
And
with
so
the box cutter was the easiest.
The humor in the beginning. Let's see this too.
Okay, I'm feeling excited again.
This also sounds great.
Just tired.
So just the on-camera microphone, something about, and one of the things we would consider is if you want a whisper to be punchy, it's a whole art form of either using video editing or getting a microphone closer, and if I definitely get the vibe. It's so strong, but and everything about even showing some of the retro and then having the props of the wine glass. That's so great. But the audio is too quiet and it doesn't quite hook you. And what's kind of fascinating is one of the biggest mistakes I made earlier on in my YouTube career. I don't know if it's a mistake, probably bothered a lot of people, is I just yelled all the time. I was always cranked up on energy and I was always yelling. One of the reasons why was I grew up with a lot of shotgun microphones on a camera 10 feet away from them. So it was kind of a style of communication or low quality gear because I started doing video in 2003. And what I didn't realize, or I had to like retrain my brain for, was the fact that we can come into a microphone like this. And let me know in the comments if you can still hear me pretty clear. And if you could join me for the Romantic Radio Hour with Sean Cannell. I'm excited to meet you. And that perhaps the quality of your microphone and your understanding of the distance from your microphone and all those types of things can be very helpful. And I think that takes this video from, it's already great. I mean, it's broken up. It looks like you narrated through it. You've got the vlog in there and just the amazing comedy intro, but the audio is a little weak. Dan, any thoughts on that video before we look at the whole channel?
I loved that you took a DIY project and like tried to tell a story. It's not just like the step by step on how you're going to do the thing today. You really like brought us in there. You showed your personality. Like that's the kind of thing that I think sets creators apart, from the tacticians who are just going to teach you how to make a DIY wall from the people who are going to make it a memorable experience. And this is the kind of creator who could see themselves in the future branching out in different ways, thanks to the community they're likely building and just their level of like storytelling and professionalism.
Yep, well put. And this does look so. The other good news about all of that, I mean, with 21 total videos on the channel, I think that you are off for an incredible start and your future is very bright on YouTube. So we're talking about dreaming up big ideas, DIY furniture, home decor, walls, photo shoots. And we've got a few shorts already. So even shorts are part of that. And some of the shorts, as much as 5,200 views on a short. Let's see what is happening here. It's great. Ties into the channel. Jump cut through. Mate, did you just make this a short or did you just reuse the footage? Because this would be the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
To take maybe that was also a long form video and then just what's the 60-second version. I think it's very entertaining to watch and the scenes happen quickly enough, the cuts. And this is also a top performing short that is very on brand for your channel. You're off to just like I like how clear it feels in terms of the promise, and it's a strong niche home decor accent walls. You have a strong aesthetic and a certain unique style to it all. So the shorts are helpful there. And then let's finally look at some of these videos. And I would love to hear Dan's thoughts on the thumbnails and anything else and ideas for the channel.
I would be looking, because this is not a space that I like fully understand or have experience with. So I would be looking at other DIY style channels that kind of do these types of thumbnails where it's, they're trying to go for the aesthetic of the room and things like that. Because normally I would say, oh, you're kind of relying on a lot of text and things like that. But if I recall, in this niche, this is actually a pretty common way to do things. But again, it's going to come down to thumbnail research. I think thumbnails could be improved, but I hesitate to recommend anything too specific because I want you to do that thumbnail research. Sean's going to throw something in right now just to see what we get. And this is the kind of stuff you guys could be doing as you look to make incremental improvements. So here we go.
Because it definitely is. She definitely, at least some of her content is kind of a retro DIY.
Mm-hmm.
These top ones, definitely thumbnail best practice. So minimalist and clear, great photography, camera angles, lens choice, and simple text. Also using kind of simpler, more unique, less distinct than the typical block YouTube text that everybody does, but because it's readable. What's nice here, though, is because there is enough simplicity there, it is still easy to read the words, more so in the building a vinyl cabinet one here. We also have the rehab life on an easy mid-century. Strong word. You start getting into, of course, something like mid-century, and you start thinking about how tools like vidIQ could help you dive deep into keywords and related keywords and clusters of topics and ideas around mid-century modern and whatever direction you want to take things. But yeah, I think that also the before and after, one of my favorite and one of the classic YouTube thumbnail templates. What pain point does the audience have before and after? What does their face look like before? What does it look like after? What does it look like with no costume? What does it look like after? What does it look like in chaos? What does it look like after? We did a video on white balance. What my camera's all yellow and white balance is wrong and it looks horrible. And now it looks great and crispy and the colors are perfect. That's my desired result. And so you can tell a story in 2 frames. Some good thumbnail tips there. One other thing I noticed was just circling back, it would appear that that 60-second sofa thing, at least I saw it in the thumbnail because it looked like you were doing, it looks like this is the one you were doing. And this looks, I think the lesson here, which you're already doing it, it's good for our entire community. is how many ways you can slice and dice up your content. Like, you actually did the project, great, that's a short. You've got this video which it looks like, oh, the budget breakdown. So then you've got the budget breakdown, which is a whole nother video. And then I would imagine that here would be the actual original video. And in this, it looks like you're going through all of the clips and just doing these
Staple it all the way around.
horizontal landscape clips.
When you get to the corner,
You were able to edit these together into a short, and that became your most viewed short. Second major power tip of the day. One project, one essentially set of footage was DJ'd out into at least 3 different remixes, 3 different versions. A long form video, a video just breaking down the budget, and a short. And as I know you're watching this right now, you're probably busy. How do I get it all done? Juggling life, kids, family, school. And this is the kind, this is like it's not just batching. It's another level than batching. It's like really strategically thinking about, and it would perhaps this one is also on the same sofa, it looks like. And look at all the views she's pulling from this content. It's very inspiring. This looks like the original. I don't know, but so much great energy, so much good filming, good everything. And I think what's cool is, you're getting 2,723 views a month, new subscribers, 4 uploads. Like, you're off to, again, an incredible start. And it looks like, got started about 8 months ago. I would push for maybe more consistency after 8 months, 21 videos. What is that, Dan?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I wasn't here to do math. I'm not good at math.
I mean, what was 21 divided by 8? Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
6 videos a month?
Yeah, about 2.5 videos a month.
So, and by the way, you might say, with everything I'm doing, I'm very busy. Well, then great. Keep that pace up. But one of the things here, you're putting out great content. You've had some breakout shorts. It's just that reminder that sometimes it's about doubling down and doubling our videos. If you want to double your views, double your uploads. And that's not a perfect equation, but if you've consistently figured out how to get content that gets 500 views or 1,000 views, and you upload 2 of those, you'll probably get 2,000 views. But what happens mathematically is if you upload 4 of those, well, one gets 600, one gets 1,000, one gets 10,000 because that was your breakout video, and then one gets 5,500. And so it is not meant to be like, Sean, obviously, if I want more views on YouTube, I should upload more videos. And that's not always the case. I'm talking about as you're following Morgan, the VRA 7Rs, I can tell, and you're, adding value and you're creating great content and you've got great energy, you've got that going, and you have figured out how to make some good videos. If you apply some of the tips we have here, but find a way to increase your frequency, I think that growth will grow. Looks like we have a special guest. Oh, they just left. Who is this, Dan, who's joining us today on the Think Media Podcast live?
This is Fur Brat McGee. No YouTube tips in their brain, just kind of empty in there. And I apologize.
I love it. Fur Brat, any animal lovers, shout us out, smash the like button. If you are team dog, let me know. If you're team cat, let me know. If you're team bird, let me know. And we're going to take a question from Home Studio Academy. I'm about a year in, 780 subs, 1,760 watch hours. I believe I can meet the 1,000 subs within 2 to 3 months. But what advice do you have, Dan, for increasing watch hours?
So watch hours, there's a couple of things you could do. A lot of people say make longer videos, but that comes with a quality aspect as well. You don't want to just fluff up your videos because people will leave the videos if they don't feel like there's any value. And then you actually hurt yourself in the process. One thing that you can do, what I've done in the past with channels I've helped get monetized, is live streams. If those are kind of outside of what you would like to do, I'd still encourage you to maybe test it out. It doesn't hurt to try live streaming. Those watch hours do count, and things can kind of snowball pretty quickly. If you have that many subscribers already, if you have like a decent amount of views, you might be surprised how many people join you for a live stream. And if you leave those live streams up, the watch hours you get from those also help. I see that your name is Home Studio Academy, so I'm assuming you're helping people with like setups, things like that. What if you did a live stream similar to what we're doing, where you kind of reviewed people's setups? You get them in ahead of time, use the community tab to like get some in pictures, things like that, give them a form to like submit them on, and then you spend like a half hour just kind of reviewing people's setups. So playing with new content ideas, things like that, even if they're not live streams, I'd be testing out different formats of content and just keep uploading. Those watch hours will eventually accumulate. It is the most frustrating part, I think, of the monetization process, but you will get there.
So strong. We are going to jump into a couple more specific channel topics. These channels are from our Video Ranking Academy community. We're not taking any live new channel reviews. We are going to answer some more questions. So hit me with a couple question marks before and after your question. And then today's stream is also brought to you by vidIQ. And I wanted to show you one other thought for Morgan's channel. But to get access to these amazing vidIQ tools and to get a 30-day trial of vidIQ's boost plan for just $1, you can go to vidIQ.com/think, and there's a link in the description. I see Morgan is here with us. Morgan, hope this has been valuable for you. And we also see a lot of people voting. Beautiful kitty. We have some team cat here, team dog, team cat, team Furberry. Fur baby is team fur baby. Couldn't a fur baby be either a dog or a cat, Dan?
Yeah, I think they're saying they would take either. Which
what a diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it seems like there's a lot of animosity and a lot of kind of a brewing war happening in our comments. No, I'm just kidding. I know y'all all love and respect each other's opinion on this. And the Carriage House, who was reviewed on the show last time, she really actually has it right over everybody. Team cat, dog, bird, and horse. So okay, why not take it to a whole nother level? But I wanted to just go back to what I was discussing, especially to go deeper, because I know the majority of our VRA community are vidIQ users, either the Pro plan or the Boost plan. And one of the tools, first of all, you definitely want to be going to app.vidiq.com. You can use a lot of these tools overlaid just up here at the top and jump straight to like the keyword inspector. But my hunch was, mid-century modern, as we talked about earlier for Morgan's channel. And the key is to focus in on a breadcrumb, if you will, a topic, a subject matter that you could start digging deeper on. Pull a thread and just see where it leads. And so what's cool here is we can dive in and look at related keywords and then look at the search volume to perhaps see in what could be vintage decor or older decor, retro rather. You start looking at, okay, 16,732 people a month are searching directly. And I also want to encourage, you never want to, these numbers are sometimes hard to interpret, because 16,000 is actually a great number, but sometimes people are scared of only 457, but that's not really how YouTube works. That would just be 457 people typing in like first apartment decorating.
Yep.
But what this verifies for me is the intent of people looking for decorating their first apartment, which, by the way, is at the bottom of the list and maybe one of my favorite ideas. I'm like, that's amazing, because first apartment is a specific pain point, a specific intent. And so apartment decorating hacks. What I am just wanting to do is verify intent, but also look for different angles and different ideas, modern architecture. So perhaps as we dig in here, thrifted furniture makeover, you're tapping into a lot of things there. Yeah, it looks like Morgan's doing retro. It could also be mid-century modern. Thrifted comes into it. And then she's already a great storyteller, thinking about maybe something outrageous like entire bedroom for under $100, or just different things that actually could be the makings of a 1 million viewed video. And so that's the keyword tool that you can find on vidIQ. And if you're interested in that, hit the link in the description as well, or go to vidIQ.com/think. But our next channel is a singer, it looks like, Isabel, and she does vocal covers, metal covers. If that's not for you, try my other covers by Queen, John Legend, Celtic Women, and 75,000 views on the channel. We have some shorts, as much as 12,000 views on our most popular. And on our videos, we have 2,900 views on a cover video, 2,500 on a medley of Epica, which is perhaps a metal band. Celtic Women did very well 2 years ago. And let's get a vibe of this and kind of see what kind of content she's creating. So right from the start, Dan, we could see she definitely is got the tools for audio, incredible voice. She's got, I'm not sure if she's making the music herself. Beautiful though. I will say, this isn't terrible as far as a hook, but a couple things I don't like. There's like a bold stroke. There's like a stroke on the text, and this font is overstroked so that the letters are touching, and that's just kind of a pet peeve, but it's not my favorite. And then this shot is meant to be artistic, but I think it misses the mark. You've got like a blue Yeti or whatever this is. Maybe it's much nicer than that. You've got your pop filter, the shot composition. Like, I think if we saw the dynamics of your face, I think it's a huge one. Your face is hidden, and it still could be kind of a dramatic shot. And then it's interesting. I mean, I know the music is, then we come here.
Child, you said to me, I am the voice of your history.
So I know that people are here for the music, and you already, it looks like, has a good camera. You're good with the editing. You do have a couple different angles. Just a thought, because we want to make that intro so strong. And it's the idea in general would be like, how can I open on my strongest shot? How could I open on my most interesting shot? How could I open on the shot that would hold people's attention? How could I open up on a shot that might make people say, it's kind of weird. What's happening here? I can't look away. I need to discover more. Like, just how could I hold people's attention? Dan, any thoughts on this video? And then let me know if you want me to click back over to the channel. We'll start looking at thumbnails and everything else.
I agree with all your points on the video itself. I don't watch a lot of channels that do like musical covers. So I was trying to think of, do I have any like advice in terms of like, if you should be doing a different hook, like maybe you should be talking before you go into the singing. I don't know. I would follow best practices there. But what I was going to say for the whole channel, like, I'm really impressed by the amount of views they're getting. Channels like this can be very difficult. Like at vidIQ, I don't know about you guys, but we get a lot of comments like, how do you like grow a music channel? You know, music channels are just a tough space to be in. And to see the progress this channel's had already is really, really encouraging.
By the way, this one is 10 times better. It opens on water, so it's more interesting. So I'm like, okay. And obviously it's about the music. It opens on water though. The text is nice and clean, a little bit larger, and the words aren't touching. I don't think that would have hurt necessarily or helped the last video, but just it seems a little cleaner, stronger, beautiful shot. And then this shot compo of you up at the front, I think it was the pop filter that is so large that just overtook on top of the mic in the last video. But this is amazing. So, okay. And then I like the thumbnails, Dan. What do you think?
Generally speaking, yeah, I think these are, you know, in line with what I've seen in a lot of music channels. I prefer the ones where it's like you and then like the text on the nice clean wall, but those aren't performing as well as some of these other ones. Overall, yeah, I think these are really strong. I think shorts, if it looks like they have a shorts tab, that's something that I think is like a super hack for music channels. Yep.
Yep.
So imagine scrolling to this. You're on the YouTube short shelf. You're not looking for any specific kind of music. Maybe this is the music you like, maybe it's not. But you scroll to this and someone is just immediately hitting you in the face with their talent. Like,
Yep.
that's the kind of stuff that gets people to stop scrolling. And I think they're leveraging shorts really well, even though they don't have like, this is the best one in 12,000 views. It's still a pretty good amount of views across all of these. And it could be very easily bringing views into the long form content since it's so similar.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what the full music rights copyright situation is, but the nice thing is if you're somehow mixing this music yourself and covering a song, chances are, in air quotes, that you're also you're good in terms of monetization, perhaps copyright, and that you should be fine. The flip side is if for some reason you also miss out on monetization, my argument for music channels is like, who cares? It's about the reach. So even if it's like monetization is limited, you're like, all right, whatever. I still got 10 million views on this short. And that's about exposure and awareness. And so what I think, that leads me to think if I'm you, which you're already doing this, but you got to tap into trend surfing. And we talk about influence surfing and trend surfing. Both are big opportunities for you. And you're bringing, as you said, covers to like metal bands, which is its own massively popular subculture. And it makes me think, I mean, on the one hand, it's your tube, it's YouTube, it's your tube. You can do whatever you want. It does make me think, like, if you tap into what bands are trending, what songs are trending, what has the broadest appeal, even it doesn't have to be super broad appeal. Like, it doesn't need to be mainstream if you're on more of a niche metal type of content. But then you really tap into if a song from the new Twilight movie, from the new Harry Potter, like some type of whatever the song that everyone's playing, that, and then that also hits shorts and people go, whoa, but that's a cool take on it. I mean, that definitely is the recipe. And what's very encouraging is, I mean, you have an amazing vibe, an amazing voice, and you've got your workflow down. It looks too like, I mean, we were looking at some of the best performing, but some of these newer thumbnails, they're getting more dynamic. There's a little more color, a little more shadow in there. And it looks like even the hook, at least from what I can see here, there's nothing. YouTube would pop up a thing, this content belongs to, or this is that it's fine, but like we're taking the monetization or the artist or the label or the distribution. I do not own any rights to this song nor instrumental. Thank you for the instrumental. So it came from this channel. And there's a good question that came in that said, I don't know if this is wrong or it's just literally their handle and they have some other thing going on. The channel doesn't seem to be active there, but it is their old channel. So you got this instrumental. That person looks like they have not uploaded it to Content ID or claimed any rights on it, because it looks like you're not flagged with any rights on it. Now, Isabel can't be monetized yet because we don't have the subscribers yet, and who knows about the watch time. But the answer to your question was what I was getting at. Are you able to monetize covers? Yes, no, or maybe. Next question. No, but that's kind of true. I mean, I think what we just described is the goal. Like, maybe it doesn't get, oh, here's the actual song. So, maybe it doesn't get flagged. The other thing is, if this channel uploaded this does look like a real CD cover. And the vibe it gives me is like I'm in LaConner, Washington, and I'm in a niche, like it's a shabby chic downtown antique shopping, and I go into like this niche bookstore, used bookstore with my wife. My kids are playing outside eating ice cream, and they've got like this kind of local artist collection of CDs and some really cool, beautiful instrumental like this. Also 1997, perhaps the band broke up. So it would be one of those things where even this, I take it back. So this is what you would see. So this sees the music being flagged. Okay. So this is YouTube music, I'm guessing. Dan, do you agree?
I think this is YouTube flagging it.
So what's happening here with this song is they're saying, first of all, I don't think the channel is being penalized. No big deal. They're just saying, okay, for whatever views this gets, we see that and we're going to attribute that to the artist. So even though this came out in 1997, maybe they are still together and maybe they aren't. The punchline is it just depends on maybe how mainstream is the song, who owns the rights. Is it uploaded to YouTube's content ID? Saying all that, uploaded here with different vocals, it looks like it did not flag the ID system. This also becomes one of those things where, our mutual friend Roberto Blake just had like 50 videos from 5 years ago, all copyright stricken, or they took away the monetization because he was using music that back then was royalty free from Machinima, which was a multi-channel network or some kind that probably gave him the music. But if that company was acquired and the rights of their back music library were changed, and then the rights and the settings, and some of this stuff could like stress you out. A couple things. I think one, don't be afraid. The future is forward. Take risks, do things, and just don't. The worst that's going to happen is maybe you lose monetization. The bigger tip would be build your influence with great content, great videos, great music, but diversify your income. Because if you have diverse income streams and you're not just relying on YouTube monetization, then again, for like an artist like this, I don't know if she has her own music or she wants to send people to Spotify, or someday she does some kind of a crowdfunding project because you've built a lot of fans. That's why it's build your influence. Build up that fan base, even if you lose out because you use an instrumental, but YouTube allows it to stay up, but they take the monetization to the artist. Sometimes they split it with the artist. So just that's why the answer is yes, no, and maybe.
Yeah. The copyright holder is going to really be the one to, you're at the mercy of them. And gaming channels, for example, can fall prey to this. In theory, any gaming video you see could be taken down, or at least copyright, can be like attributed to the creator of the game if the company who owns the game wants to do that. But a lot of companies understand that they get a lot of revenue from people making revenue on YouTube. So gaming is okay for now, but nothing is stopping copyright holders from going after any gaming channel, So it's kind of the same thing here. You upload music that's not yours. Yeah, it depends on how the record label feels about that.
Yep. And it looks like Isabel says the band's still huge and active. It looks like that one didn't get flagged, but I use karaoke's and instrumentals for the songs I sing. And so incredible work. You've got a ton of talent, a great channel. I think definitely, if depending on when you join VRA, I think if you go to VRA Masters, I have deep dive trainings on influence surfing and trend surfing. I think there could be some big growth keys. And then Dan's advice, though, I think just doubling and tripling down on shorts. And then, these also, I don't think this is clearly this did very good. But sometimes I do think a little bit in terms of production and or even framing. Not a big deal, but like it looks like it's just the crop of the horizontal video. It does give you the nice empty space to have the text show up clear. So in this case, I think it actually works incredibly powerful. But even this one, it feels a little more dynamic because you're full frame.
Tried so hard to tell myself that you're gone.
So also this did very well, and the hook of the short though I think is a miss.
Yeah.
I
would have
think
started
you should just start right there.
Yes, I would have started on the word I've, like
I've.
the most familiar, and get a syllable out like as fast as you can.
Yeah, just instantly.
Yeah.
And because starting with the black on screen, empty text, or just the text. Yeah, just with I've, and then perhaps you could simultaneously, there is the passion in your face. There's the I've we're hearing. There's the essentially the drop happening instantly. It's like the payoff happening immediately. And we talk about the hook being in a normal video being 5, 10, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. In a short, it's 1 second. It's like the first second, 1, 2, 3 seconds, or someone's going to swipe. And so the cool thing is perhaps them reading the title insinuating the topic. Oh, cool. A cover of My Immortal by Evanescence. So they stay, and you got 1,700 views, but it'd be fascinating. In fact, let me challenge you. This would be a fun exercise that we'll be able to debrief on. Do this today. Let's take this short, and you're here live. Maybe you could do it in the next hour. Trim off the beginning and just start with I've. And let's and then re-upload it. No harm, no foul. Don't worry about it being slight like. And what I also wonder is
I wouldn't put that either.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the new version. Not in the nothing about the description and nothing about subscribe.
No, sorry. No black screen on the beginning or the end.
Yeah, no black screen on the beginning or the end.
Yep, your face immediately. No fade, no anything like that. And then get like as much as you feel like you need in there, and then just hard cut out. Like,
and you could either hard cut out, or knowing your tempos and your measures or whatever, and knowing if it loops back to I've,
yep,
then and the cut, then you just leave that. And what I would potentially do though is I would replace subscribe and full link in the description with a little thumbs up, like if you want. Like, I don't think that's gonna hurt or something. And this is without thinking too deeply, because what we just said, if you just did that, I think it'd be great. But you don't want somebody to be triggered to go off the video, but a reminder to just like something easy, like, you know, like for Evanescence, or, you know, just the thumbs up button or something. That would be an option in the middle, but also perhaps unnecessary. So I can't wait to do this test. So we're going to start with I've, try to hit the loop, no indication that the video is ending. We'll see if that gets better than 100% audience retention, because people loop and maybe also love it, so they'll listen to it again, or just are tricked, and so they listen to it for a few more seconds, realizing it looped. Then no need to give the call to action to the description, but you already got 6 comments on this. Do a pinned comment to the full-length video, which is, I want to argue, 1,000 times better than the description. Description's kind of too hard to get to, because notice I have to go description, I have to go 3 dots, description, then I could get to the link. Whereas people in shorts read the comments while watching the short, and it's a much easier place to get to, and a much more likely place they'd get to. So you could pin the full length version right now in the description, real easy. And Think Media is going to comment on that right now, but I like a little pointy finger emoji. You know, you could do something like that, pin that comment. And what would be interesting is, again, you may get more clicks from this short to there, especially because there's a call to action in here. But that breaking of the viewer session is not the main point or the main goal. I think that what will be really cool is ultimately no black on the front or back. Try to get it to loop. Don't say in the description. Let people subscribe if they want. It may or may not motivate them, but just let them enjoy the music. And I'm so excited. And then Isabel's going to do this today. And then, you know, let's give it a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. And then let's see what happens. And drop a report in VRA, maybe break it down. Timing could have something to do with it. I don't think your current subscribers are going to be bothered by it. That's power tip 3 of the day. And that is this. Some of my YouTube shorts expert friends, meaning they emphasize shorts, they upload 2, 3, 4, 5 shorts a day, and they've grown millions of subscribers from shorts. Don't hesitate to upload the same short a couple different times.
Yeah.
They'll rehook it though. Sometimes they'll complete, like the main content is the same, but they'll re-architect the hook or the timing. And I'm not suggesting that that's something you need to do, but in this case, I think there's only upside and opportunity reusing the content that you have. And this came out January 21st. No one's even going to remember. A couple new subscribers came. They might just be pumped to hear it again. But what could be really interesting is You also now, if you do it on mobile, you could select the thumbnail. This is a good thumbnail because of the passion there. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I did want to say this, and this would be the final thing. I was thinking we're really giving some tactical stuff on one short, but if for anybody listening to this, every nuance detail we're getting here, I think could be helpful. I think that will capture enough in terms of like the video filter, the color grading. However, it's not super punchy. I don't think what I'm saying is going to make or break it, but when I looked down a little bit and I saw this other one, this was just, it was punchier to me. The saturation and the vibrance feels higher. The purplish tones, it makes the plain white wall it's not so muted, and it just is more gripping, more striking. So one other thing, we're going crazy. Literally, the easiest thing would be to take this video, download it, throw it in an editor, trim the ends, and then that's like level 1. But if you decide how deep you want to go with this, but ultimately you could throw a different grade on it if you had the original thing in your, Adobe Premiere, Filmora, or iMovie, or wherever you edit. And we went really deep there, Dan, but let me know if you're getting any unlocks or aha moments. Think Media Podcast community. Smash like if you're getting value. That was sort of some tactical short opportunities and the opportunity to perhaps give your short a second chance. Hashtag give your short a second chance. Shorts need second chances, Dan.
They do. I've done it myself, and I took old shorts. I'm like, this didn't do super well, but I still think it's funny. And I've reposted them. Not only did my subscribers not notice, like the longtime viewers, people got more comments, got more views. People were excited. Not a single comment saying, I remember this. What are you doing? So yeah, you can absolutely re-upload it and not take down the old one. And I also, my last tip for that channel and any music channel is, if you can find more like current songs too. I think that's like a song everybody knows if they follow that genre of music. But as you're going forward, like, can you do that same treatment to a brand new trending song? Because that is also like a super tip to grow as a music channel that's doing covers and things like that. Always make sure it's within your genre, within your zone of expertise, but keep following those trends.
So good. And I think that brings us to our opportunity. Cooking with Singles is wondering, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Do you want to take the blue pill or the pink pill? You decide. It's too cheesy, but I just got inspired and I had sticky notes on my desk. Dan, do you have a few more minutes?
Yes. I don't have a prop budget like you, but I do have a few more minutes.
Amazing. Okay. Austin asks, any advice for pivoting channels? I do gaming, but I don't play the game that got the bulk of my views.
Oh, okay. Saw music. I got confused. So pivoting any channel, any topic is always difficult. You can absolutely switch gears and do something else, with the understanding though that whoever was following you before, understand that they may not follow you to the next thing. Some of them might, and that's the goal, right? Some people will follow you, but you're gonna have people drop off. And I would go into that as like just be conscious of that and go, that's okay. The idea is that I'm going to start off kind of slow, but I'm going to get new viewers based on the new thing that I'm doing and that I'm passionate about. And then one thing is, if your old content is still bringing in a lot of new viewers, that's when I would ask you to maybe consider either a totally different channel or to unlist those old videos, because what's going to happen is people are going to subscribe for the old stuff, which you're not doing anymore. And then they're going to see the new stuff and not click. And that just kind of slows you down, because you get a nice initial boost from YouTube when you put up something brand new and it goes up to your super fans and they click on it. But if your super fans aren't clicking on it, it just kind of slows you down. So that's what I would go into. I don't care if you're gaming, I don't care if you're, travel channel, whatever it is, like, that's the understanding you have to have, is you attracted a certain type of viewer and you might be moving away from what they're interested in.
Powerful tips. Okay. A couple channels. We'll call this the lightning round. We're looking at casually sharp multimedia, which is an interesting angle. And I would say the channel topic is sharing your memories. So it feels like video tips. I mean, it is video tips, selfies, but the angle is kind of like how to make your family photos and videos amazing. So a very niche angle, because there are those who maybe do not aspire, many who do not aspire to be a YouTube creator or to upload their videos on YouTube or to be a filmmaker, but they want to capture life's memories. So it seems that there's a clear audience in everyday life. We want to have milestones and events. What's also kind of cool about this is when you really understand, like, you want to understand the pain points and desires of your audience, everybody watching this. For the YouTube creator, I'm sure many here, you want a silver play button or 1,000 subscribers or a gold play button or to get monetized. But then you think about the person who's like, I just want to figure out how to use my camera or figure out how to share. They don't want to. So what is it they really want? And I think that giving them the tools, and oftentimes the win being like, I couldn't get my camera to look right, and you help me get it to look right. I couldn't actually transfer, and I couldn't. It makes me think of transferring from VHS to digital. How do you capture different tools? And my initial thought is, I know we're just starting here. I do see that you're already getting like fancy over here, at least in the thumbnail, with a Canon DSLR, it looks like, and a giant lens. And I, having, as you know, probably quite a bit of depth in my own tech experience, I actually think you have a wide open opportunity to lean into camcorders. Like, camcorders are the most slept on camera because all the, I would argue, hipster YouTube creators want mirrorless cameras, DSLRs. Very few people talk about camcorders. Furthermore, when you empathetically understand, which I believe you do because you say this in your about page, like, the problem with a lot of mirrorless cameras, even if they try to make them easy, like the Sony ZV-1 and, you know, tools like that, is they're not that easy to use. And they don't give you a little hand grip and flip out the screen and film the soccer game. And I don't want to change my lens and then zoom in 45x to film the goal of the kids. And so the riches are in the niches. And I think that leaning into that type of thing, as well as, and I'm sure some people have do it, but like how to transfer VHS to digital. And there's probably some different tools, and there could be product review things. 486,000, 570,000, and this little tool right here. You could do a tool. This was 3 months ago, and it got 166,000, and it only has a 15,000 views on the channel. So if you think about even pain points, again, like really leaning into this kind of stuff, and if we could get a price here, like even this person looks like this is doing pretty good with 39,000 views. But as I look at them, like Elgato capture card, my neighbor Frank is not going to use an Elgato capture card. He's not going to put a capture, like an internal PCIe capture card in anything. He's going to probably use some of these top tools. So like cheap and easy Amazon like device gadget to help you capture, and then camcorders. Best camcorder 2023. And so, and then thinking budget. So budget buyer's guide here. This is interesting. This would be a faceless channel. I can spot him a mile away.
Hey guys, in this video, we're going to look at the top 5 best 4K camcorders.
It's 2 years old, actually. They changed the title. It's its own tip. 2 years ago. So whatever year that was, 2021, they called it 2023. So you could probably make a better video that's more current. This also reveals that you don't have to buy all 5 camcorders, because you could take, you are on camera or it's going to be your voiceover. But this, we could spin. I said lightning round, Dan. What are we doing?
I forgot you said that.
But we're getting kind of tactical here. But again, this faceless channel, aka YouTube automation channel or whatever, is all probably written by vidIQ's AI coach. Script meets, you know, some B-roll from the manufacturer, which is very fascinating, and all the affiliate links. But my point to say here would be, you know, camcorders. And This also says budget, which was these things that we see this all the time. I talk about this with Nolan and Omar. There's so much bad information on the internet. Like, we have so much work to do. $1,848 is not budget
Oh,
for the average person, that wants to go film their soccer game. They really want to get the biggest impact and you could start talking about, you could have affiliate links to eBay and some different things. But yeah, this is the ranked video. It's not the best answer to the question. And what gets us fired up is we want to launch a whole blog. vidIQ has got an incredible blog, 2 writers, great information, a whole nother conversation about search engine optimization and growing in terms of that written content. But when we look up, friends, and please, I warn you, we look up like best camera for YouTube 2023, and there's ranked blog posts, they're terrible. They say things like GH5. The heaviest no autofocus Panasonic, like for vlogging. They'll have like the best camera. And I'm like, what are we talking about? They'll say G7X Mark III. Again, horrible autofocus. Back focus is weird. These are not good answers. Or they'll talk about some smaller cameras that do terrible in low light. And you're like, the person would use this in low light. They want to film concerts at night. I'm getting a little fired up. Like, I literally just got triggered. But ultimately, what we're after is empathy for the viewer, understanding of the viewer. And you've got a zillion topics to go really deep, I think, in this niche. But I want to also challenge you to continue to get to know them better. And don't be afraid of, sometimes we call it the ASSSQ strategy. Answer stupid, simple, specific questions. Because the person out, grandma wants to film Christmas, and she's not going to be like changing lenses on an M50 and like plugging in a Rode mic. Like, she needs a simpler solution. I need you making videos for grandma. Dan,
a great tip.
thoughts?
Great tip. Your video quality looks amazing. Your thumbnail quality needs work. Just a cold hard truth there. I think the thumbnails are, it's not that they are not communicating a message. Like, I can see where you're going with what, you're really trying to communicate that clear message, but we really got to level up the quality of the thumbnails. For example, the latest video, I see you try to do maybe like a rule of thirds thing, but it's kind of not translating too well. You're in focus, the camera's in focus, and the people in the background are in focus. Everything's in focus. And so it just kind of looks flat, and it doesn't really like give me the vibes I need. Also, when you're reviewing cameras, you're not in that picture, but like you're talking about family photos, but like it almost, you're straight in front of the lens. Like the camera is pointed at the lens. Does that make sense? So it can't really tell what kind of camera it is, because we're not getting a nice side profile or like a 45-degree profile from it. So it just kind of, when you're scrolling through YouTube really quick, it just looks like a black blob on the thumbnail. Like, you got to think about people looking at this really fast and trying to make decisions about what they're going to watch. So video quality, this looks great. It's the thumbnail quality for me that definitely needs to be leveled up.
I think that we've shared a lot here, and I want to encourage you, the ingredients you have. You've got your studio going. You've built your ability to communicate. You've got your energy. You've got your gear. I can tell you've got the knowledge. All of this, all these ingredients.
Make sure that you
now just kind of take it to the next level. And I hope that some of the things I just shared, kind of spinning off on video topics, then it's a matter of, I think, just getting back to it. And what I mean by that is, 4 years ago, you uploaded a video. Now we're back at it, which is great. Okay, I don't know, we all go through different seasons and whatnot. But on the other side of 50 answer stupid, simple, specific questions videos, helping people solve these problems, and what I would guess that in your really cool studio, that you have stuff that's already in your garage, on your shelf, in your cabinet. Like, you've got tools and solutions, and sometimes it's just kind of one thing. It's like how to actually turn the audio on the such and such camera, and one of the biggest ways to solve problems is to kind of scratch your own itch. That's an intuition that helped me in my career. is noticing aspects of things that could turn into a video. One of which was like there was an old task car mic. So you'd find like a popular shotgun mic. So the task car mic was this incredible microphone for $20, $25 or something like that. I don't even know if they sell it anymore. But the way that its headphone input worked was it was like mono because it only had one. It's like tip ring S. What does the S stand for? Sheath.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about though.
TRRS. What's that stand for? Tip ring sleeve, if anybody was curious. Now we're getting more geeky. So you can see on any little audio cables like this, right? TRRS is like smartphone because you have like left, right, and microphone for a smartphone, whereas a microphone only needs 2, not 3 of these guys. So TRS versus TRRS. Here's the point. That microphone, that shotgun mic, you'd record and it was only on one channel, unless you just got this 99-cent connector that made it 2 channels. So as I was like, this is dumb. And this is a video idea. And if other people are frustrated, there's probably people over the next 5 years that'll be looking for this. And if they're looking for this, they'll click the $1 affiliate link, which won't actually be a lot of money. But if you click Amazon for 24 hours, you get anything. And then the video gets 55,000 views over 5 years. It gets a lot of clicks. It sells a ton of like $1 things, which I make 2 cents. But then every once in a while, a camcorder comes in and I'm like, whoa. And I started to build momentum. So your niche is very relevant for just like different little geeky tips, tools specific, which could also be helpful for all of us here, because when you're also building out like deep dive 11-minute videos that need to have multi-parts, there's also just the opportunity to answer like one specific question, like media, like change hard drive of a Toshiba laptop. I had a laptop. I wanted to change the hard drive. I don't know if I'll be able to find this. There it is. Here's old Sean 10 years ago, 86,000 views. How to add RAM and an SSD to a laptop.
To add just 4 gigabytes of RAM,
you know, I'm shooting on
one stick
janky
to the drive.
camera.
Now, when I got this computer, it had 2
And links in the
gigabyte,
description, links
72
to the
RPM
drive.
disk
Well,
hard
what if
drives.
they have a
And
different laptop? It doesn't matter because they might look at it, compare it, click the link.
Just so you know,
and I'm
all
also
the
now
links to
talking
everything
about
I'm talking about in
monetization,
this video is
but went through
new
generic tips, create some
hybrid
recovery
drive.
discs. Man,
covered the operating system.
here we
drive.
are. So anyways,
this is
just
the operating
getting into
system,
different
and so you
geeky
can pull
niche specific
this
videos,
back
I think is
out
a
pretty
massive
easily.
opportunity.
And then the
Shout
next
out to
step
Think
is
Media
to
10 years ago on screen right
unscrew
now,
these
talking about how to do
screws.
hard drives and then booting it back
The
up
OS
with the
is
most
installed, and
horrible
we're
video
here
production.
with
You
a
look at like
C
Nolan and
drive
Omar's videos these
set up
days, and I'm out here
with operating
lines on the
system
screen
and
using a
with our
Canon
D drive
ELPH point and shoot
setup, which is
camera.
the
But hey,
so check that out.
people are there for the
and we'll talk
content
soon.
value.
Hey, what's up, Sean here? And in this video, we're
Not
gonna be
as much the production value, although in a 2023 world, things have changed probably a bit. And so production value matters. But if you help them add the RAM and upgrade the SSD, and by the end of the video, they're like, it worked, then you're going to have a satisfied viewer. And that's what YouTube wants, is they're in the job of helping satisfy viewers. We're landing the plane here as we approach the 90-minute mark. But Dan, if anybody wants to connect with what you guys are doing, how can they find you?
vidIQ. Just type in vidIQ into YouTube search. We'll come right up. And if you're looking for general YouTube growth advice, check it out. We're trying all kinds of new content formats and things like that too. We're trying to talk to more creators, and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, check out vidIQ if you get a chance.
Amazing. And Dan, appreciate all your advice. Shared a lot of powerful tips today, and always love it when we have you on the Think Media podcast. And if you want to check out today vidIQ, this stream has been brought to you by vidIQ. You could get a 30-day trial of vidIQ's boost plan for just $1. If you go to vidiq.com/think, super great deal. I mean, it's just $1. And you can start tapping into the powerful tools, including the new AI coach. And so this tool is immensely powerful. Why I love it is there is a basic version, which if you have a brand new channel, no data yet, you could get started. But if you go to the advanced channel data, it's personalized to you, meaning vidIQ actually connects to your channel and then is able to analyze your videos and analytics. So then you can have these diamond prompts here on the right that have a little diamond next to them. That means they are advanced prompts that are influenced. Because if you just say, how do I get views, for example, that generic question would not be personalized to you. But because vidIQ is connected to my channel, Think Media, I can click, how do I get views? And it's thinking about my question in relation to the data, the views, the subs, the growth of my channel. So it says it's thinking about the question, it's looking at my YouTube channel data. And what we're going to see is now specific advice so I can make some data driven decisions, but also so it can simplify things for me. So here's the AI coach. Hey there, I've analyzed your channel, Think Media, and its performance overall in the last 30 days. I've also tested this out and asked it questions like, can you give base it on the last 90 days, base it on different time frames? So what's really fun is like getting to know AI coach. This will be like your best YouTube friend. So it's breaking down some things on my target audience right now, talking about where viewership is. And again, it's pulling this data out of my analytics. But what I've found so helpful is like make complex things simple. This is why I love vidIQ. Make complex things simple so I can make quick decisions, make my next best video. So I don't have to use my decision-making willpower and all my brain power trying to figure out what the next best move is to make, where I could actually just tap into this tool and start getting some really cool results. And so talking about our primary audience suggestions, research popular trends and topics within this age group to create content that resonates with them. Smart. So, okay, what's 18 to 34 thinking about? Good question. Also primarily male. We're about 75% male on our other channel, Think Media. We're streaming this right now on the Think Media podcast, but let's check this out. Based on your top performing videos, your audience enjoys content related to video editing, YouTube growth, and AI tools for creators. Suggestion, create more videos on these topics, such as top 10 video editing tips for beginners and how to use AI to boost your channel growth. Right there, game over. Make those 2 videos next. We've taken, obviously AI is blowing up and we've taken the AI thing to heart and we're trying to double down on that. We're testing a lot of different tools. Literally, we're using an AI tool right now. We're obsessed with AI right now. It is a game changer. You got to be tapping into tools like this. Talking about the best engagement also on our most recent 10 insane AI tools. Optimal upload frequency. This will be interesting. Over the last 30 days, you've uploaded 5 videos. It's not true. Consider uploading more frequently. Now, notice it says at the bottom here, be aware this is the alpha version of AI, so it's not always going to answer as expected. However, it is suggesting we go 1 to 2 per week. So I think with shorts, we do about 1 a day. So however, it's pulling that data. It missed it on that one. Number 5, video length. Your recent videos have an average view percentage rating of 30%. That would be right to 50%. Consider experimenting with different video lengths and formats. Great tips. So this is all, by the way, just one of the personalized prompts that actually analyzes your channel. It'll audit your channel for you. It will say, based on my channel, what video ideas do you have? You can do a channel analysis, audience engagement. How can I increase my channel subscriber count? What types of videos do my subscribers like most? How can I improve my audience retention rate? So this is, again, a brand new vidIQ feature. And it's really just the tip of the iceberg of so many other things. If all you got was that tool, it would be worth the $1 jumping in to try it out. But when you think about daily ideas, AI title recommendations, this view of daily ideas, also personalized to your channel, the AI content generator, it's there's some beta stuff right now on generating thumbnails for you. And this is coming up with the angle, the length, all kinds of very unique nuances. We were talking about the keyword tool earlier. So I have been a massive fan and user of vidIQ. I don't know. vidIQ's been around for a decade, basically from the start. I'm 16 years on YouTube. Think Media is 10 years old. This channel is only 3 years old. But I've been using vidIQ from like the beginning. I remember meeting Rob, the founder, at Vid Summit 1. Daryl Eves has an event called Vid Summit. I think it's on like year 10, 7 or 8. At the first one, I think we met, and I was already like, it's so nice to meet you. I'm a user of your tool. And it's been cool to see that they continue to add more cool things. So if you want to take your YouTube game to the next level and you haven't tried out vidIQ and all of these cool tools, so much more than we can cover, definitely take advantage of the $1 offer that they have going on right now. vidIQ.com/think, or there's a link in the description down below. And smash like if you are getting value out of today's training. I want to thank you for being here. Vid Summit this year, our team is going. The bearded IT dad. I am being very selective with my calendar. My calendar is oddly packed. It's not odd, obviously, it's my decision, but I'm trying to eliminate things from my calendar, personal life updates wise, because of having our 8-month-old and our 2.5-year-old. And so whether it's different speaking, I am going to VidCon. I'm speaking at VidCon. We're actually at Dave Ramsey's Entree Leadership next week as an executive team. So I've had to say no to a lot of events. There's maybe a chance I'll be there, but I don't think I'm going to be there. Saying that, Nolan, Omar, Steph, Kyle, Nathan, I think, are all going to be there. Drea, perhaps, are going to Vid Summit this year. That's our plan. And then vidIQ Grow with Video. Our event is coming back next year. So you have a ton of time. It's about a year out. So you're hearing it here first. It comes back, I think, May 2024, Las Vegas. Excited for that. And I want to thank you for being a part of our community. Ray, hit it. Is it TRS, TRRS, and TRRRS? He's right. It's mono, stereo, and microphone, I think, is the R's, the rings. Am I right, Ray, if you're still here? It's mono, right and left. And then the extra ring is because, your Apple, not AirPods, but your corded Apple headphones that plug into the dongle, those have a microphone on them. That's why you need the 3 R's. If you made it this far in the video, for the power tip number 4 or 5, knowing your microphone jack tips. This is the big size of headphones. There's 2 rings on there, right? Tip, ring, sleeve, left and right, because there's left and right on the headphones. If there was a 3rd ring, I could have a microphone. If there was only 1 ring, it wouldn't be stereo, it'd be mono. And I'll tell you how much pain that's caused me over the years of like connecting this thing to that thing. That's why these days a lot of microphones on Amazon are coming with 2 cables. So like there's a new Shure shotgun microphone that I love. I think I'm using it here somewhere. And is it Shure? Is it right? We'll share it with you. Sennheiser. So this Sennheiser shotgun microphone, one of my faves, purchased 2 times. Yes, that is true. I have purchased this 2 times. And it comes with 2 blue cables. One of the blue cables is TRRS to TRRS. Why are we even going? You can see the 2 cables there. Another is
the MKE 400 is where portability
is for smartphones. So basically it's for your DSLR, because you don't need that. It could even mess it up. If you've ever plugged in a shotgun microphone and you've been like, it's not working on my camera, or it's only on one side, like knowing your TRS, TRRS workflow is important. And so one of these is RR, left and right, RR, and one has got left and right because on the microphone side, it's the same. But on the smartphone side, it needs that extra TRRS. So even which side of the cable you plug into the mic And that might all sound overwhelming, but as soon as you learn some of these things, you start being able to troubleshoot, and it could be incredibly helpful and eliminate a lot of
This is an audio sample of
frustration.
the MKE 400
And
connected
so,
to a mirrorless camera.
yes, it is a great mic. I do love that mic. It's really, really good. Sounds great. And it's cool because sometimes you need modern tools like that because you're like, why doesn't my microphone work with my smartphone or things like that? And Tom, this mic is, I believe, called the Amazon, not called Amazon, called the Shure MV51. Yep. And Tom, we'll link up the Shure MV51 in the description. For those who are a fan of this mic that I use, it is very cool because it has that really cool retro look to it. And that's also, you're hearing this microphone right now. A little spendy, but I would always shop around places, perhaps refurbished, perhaps whatever. But if you want the look, it looks like it's $50 off right now. That's pretty cool. It's 20% off. And there's the promotion is Amazon Music. Okay. So anyways, that's this mic. Very great mic. I then have the boom arm on it. I am a very poppy speaker. I speak with a lot of plosives. So you don't need this pop filter that I have right here. You don't need it. And if I speak thoughtfully, it's probably not a problem. But because I'm so plosive-y, which is usually the P's when you're speaking, I put this pop filter in front of it so I could double down. Little Rode boom arm, and man, you're off to the races. This is a USB microphone, so we'll throw that in if you want to check out the direct link. If you want, that'll be our affiliate link in the description. And then if you want to check out that Sennheiser mic, and you're looking for these aren't necessarily the best budget options or whatever, but they are amazing, and I can fully endorse them. No sponsorship. But I would get sponsored, Sennheiser. We've worked with Shure before. So Sennheiser, please email me, and Shure, let's get a deal going again. But I am just telling you some of the tools that I love to use. And we'll let you see that one as well. So that is the MKE 400 if you want an on-camera shotgun mic. That is also you need kind of a wild rig, not a wild, but you need a if you're going to mount it somewhere when you use it for a smartphone. But I actually use this with a Joby, with this little smartphone holder that has a place for the mic to mount. And then I use it with my smartphone on a Joby GorillaPod for kind of like more pro smartphone photography. But obviously the better use case for me, I put it on my Canon R6. Anyways, we'll link both of those up in the description down below. Smash like for the tips today. If you just joined, watch the replay. We covered a couple different channel topics. Shout out to the VRA fam for the channels we reviewed today. And shout out, massive love to you for being a part of the stream. Appreciate you, the Carriage House. Thanks for being a part of our community. Thank you for the support of the channel. I recognize we would not be able to do what we do. I wouldn't be blessed to be sitting in this position if you weren't here sharing your love, your attention, smashing like. And so literally from the bottom of my heart, I'm humbled every day to just think about the honor and the privilege it is to get to create content for a living. And so thank you for that. And that is also our passion at Think Media. We're on a mission to help 1 million purpose-driven people create a full-time living, doing what they love while making a difference in the world with YouTube. And so appreciate you. Thanks for being here. My name is Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next stream.